Hi, I'm Dr. Plummer, and I am going to today review with you the educator and student growth process for the Mehlville School District. Mehlville's school educator growth process is aligned philosophically and structurally to the theory of action and 7 essential principles that are the foundation of the Missouri Model Educator Evaluation System. This model draws liberally from the Missouri Department of Education's model through some modifications that have been made to meet local processes and procedures in the Mehlville School District. A steering committee composed of district teachers and administrators was formed to help with the process of developing the new educator and student growth process system.
We brought in a lot of teachers and a lot of principals and said, how do you want to be evaluated? So I liked that because I was a teacher getting asked my opinion.
Teachers need to be part of that process. I mean, this is their evaluation tool. What do they want feedback on? And I think teachers have to be part of that process. That's essential.
Contemporary research suggests 7 essential principles when creating an effective evaluation system. These are the foundation on which Missouri's educator evaluation system was developed and what we have followed to use to develop the Mehlville School District evaluation system. The 7 essential principles include: number 1, establishing clear expectations of practice based on research of national standards and aligned to Missouri Senate Bill 291, directing districts to set teaching standards. Principle number 2, measure practice across differentiated levels from pre-service on through 4 levels of practitioner. Principle number 3, highlights the probationary period as a time of intensive support for the teacher. Principle number 4, includes student performance measures to ensure the impact of student learning. Principle number 5, includes feedback as a critical component for improving effective practice. Principle number 6, acknowledges evaluator training as a highly significant factor for reliability when evaluating practice. And principle number 7, maintains that evaluation results drive employment decisions and policy. The Mehlville Teacher Standards convey the expectations of practice for professional teachers in the Mehlville School District. The standards are based on teaching theory indicating that effective teachers are caring, reflective practitioners and lifelong learners who continuously acquire new knowledge and skills and are constantly seeking to improve their teaching practice to provide high academic achievement for all students. These standards recognize that teachers continuously develop knowledge and skills. Therefore, the Mehlville Teacher Standards employ a developmental sequence to define a professional continuum that illustrates how a teacher's knowledge and skills mature and strengthen throughout their career. Teaching professionals are expected to supply good professional judgment and use these standards to inform and improve their own practice. The primary purpose of the educator growth process is to promote growth in effective practice that ultimately increases student performance. This begins with the identified indicators, baseline performance data, identifying new strategies and developing feedback from those strategies, follow-up performance, reflecting and planning, and then continuing that cycle again.
I think the piece of this that the teachers love is the fact that we're in their classroom more. And so that piece of it is comforting to them so that if we don't see something one time, we'll see it soon because we're there so often.
The evaluation process is based on the growth model rather than a performance model. There are 3 big picture ideas that are included in the educator and student growth process for the Mehlville School District. These 3 things include the plan for educator and student growth, observations in the classroom, and the summative evaluation process. The plan for educator and student growth is completed each year of employment. Quality indicators for the growth plan are selected based on teacher and administrator input and should be developed through a collaborative and professional conversation. The identified indicators provide a focus area for ongoing learning and growth. These determine the focus and rationale for improving effective practice and are based on what is needed most to improve student learning. Consideration should be given to the power indicators. Research has shown they have the greatest impact on student achievement. The plan for educator and student growth should correspond to the possible sources of evidence provided in the growth guides, clearly address specific sources of new learning, be focused on results and outcomes, and indicate timelines for completion. The Mehlville General Observation Feedback Form was modeled following the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education Observation Feedback Form. This observation form is used to provide meaningful feedback to teachers regarding the extent to which the new strategies are addressing the quality indicators of focus. Strategies for improvement are identified and practiced through this process.
We used to go in 3 times a year, 60-minute lessons is what we would view, and now we're going in several times a year, 10 touch points, those small little snapshots, 15-minute looks at what lessons are they doing, how are they incorporating good teaching into those lessons, what strategies are they bringing in.
What I like about this one is I have the conversation with my principal, so I can tell him, hey, I'm doing something really cool, or I need some help in a certain area, like maybe I need to work on wait time or something like that. So I can invite him in and say, can you specifically look for this, and then give me some feedback.
The summative evaluation form is the final piece of evaluation tool that is used yearly for teachers. For non-tenured teachers, this evaluation is completed every year until they have reached tenure, which begins their 6th year of employment in the district. For tenured teachers, the summative evaluation form is completed every 3rd year of employment after they have been tenured. The Melville evaluation cycle has 2 different sides. It has the probationary side for probationary teachers and the tenured side for tenured teachers. For probationary teachers, a general observation feedback form is completed at a minimum of 5 times per year. In addition to that, administrators will have touch points with classroom teachers at least an additional 5 times per year. These touch points will be documented on a spreadsheet and shared with teachers as an additional way of coaching and for feedback to teachers.
It's more user-friendly for both the teacher and the administrator. Before, there was one scheduled, so they'd get themselves together and they'd put on what they thought we wanted, in an evaluation. And now what we're doing is we're just going in. We're just seeing that authentic learning. There's no scheduled observation. It's just we're coming in. We're coming in to see what they do every day and to talk about students and their learning.
Tenured teachers have a general observation feedback form completed at a minimum of 3 times per year. In addition, they will have 7 touch points per year that are documented on a spreadsheet and are shared with the classroom teacher for feedback and growth opportunities. The summative evaluation for probationary teachers is every year for their first 6 years, and for tenured teachers is every 3 years.
It promotes a lot of conversation between the administrator and the teacher on like what they should be doing or how can they improve, because obviously you're going to have a goal. Not everybody is the perfect teacher, so there's always something that you can be improving on. Like right now, one of my big focuses is technology and how can I put that more into my classroom, make it a little bit more seamless. So I can say, I'm working on this. What does it look like when you walk in? Is it mass chaos? Do you see kids that are like not on task or something like that? So I can initiate that conversation on things that I might think are going wrong, and I just want confirmation on somebody else that's not like in the moment teaching.
There are several professional development opportunities that will be provided at different levels throughout the district on this evaluation tool. Professional development and support for administrators began back in May of 2015. An initial training was conducted by Dr. Patty Coram and Dr. Julie Spearing on the educator and student growth process and on the educator evaluation model. That initial training took place on May 27, 2015, with a follow-up training on August the 4th, 2015. In addition to that, there are monthly follow-up trainings on the educator evaluation model that are being conducted by Dr. Patty Coram. At these trainings, there is calibration videos that are shown and observation forms that are used so that the administrators can have calibration conversations around the observation forms and make sure they are on the same page when they are using those forms to evaluate classroom instruction. In addition to that, there are calibration trainings that are taking place monthly at principal meetings. Professional development and support has also been provided for a teacher leader training team. There have been 2 teacher leaders from every elementary and middle school identified by the building administrators, and 3 teachers from each high school identified by building administrators. An initial training was provided to the teacher leader team in August about the educator and student growth process and the educator evaluation model. A follow-up training will be provided to this teacher leader team in November. Based on feedback from the teacher leaders, more trainings will be set after this second training. The final piece is the professional development and support for building levels. All building level training will take place on 2-hour early dismissals and district professional development days this year. A plan has been laid out for all of these days to include training on student learning objectives, on student growth targets, on standards-based grading, on how to develop formative and summative assessments, and in addition, how to understand the educator evaluation process as a whole. In addition to the 2-hour early dismissals and district professional development days, building principals are doing calibration activities with their staffs where they are showing videos of classroom instruction and having the teachers complete the observation form and give feedback as a team and discuss that feedback. We are very excited about the new educator and student growth process. We feel like this process is going to better help our teachers identify areas of strengths and areas and opportunities for growth in their evaluation. We feel like this process is a much more collaborative process than our old system for educator evaluation. Teachers are very excited about this process and feel like they're getting more feedback that is going to help them grow as an educator through this process. Thank you. If you have additional questions, do not hesitate to contact me.